One of our young men earlier this year went down to the grocery store about 10 o'clock at night to get one of the most basic food groups, donuts. He was hungry. So as he's walking by the cashier, he notices a woman there with a hearing aid. So he turns to her and says, "Can I pray for you?" And she says, "Yes." And she turns around to do her business. And he said, "No, I mean right now." So she looks around and says, "Well, okay." So he prays for her. She's 50% deaf in one ear and 100% deaf in the other. And so he prays for her, and both ears open up. She's completely healed. Well, the woman is crying. The cashier is crying. The woman behind the counter is going, "This is God. This is God." Our young man is going, "This is God. This is God." Woman got healed. She's just crying. That, up to that point, is absolutely a normal event. We have that happen just around town all the time. Because our conviction is if the gospel doesn't work in the marketplace, it doesn't work. So at that point is where it takes a turn for the better. That right there is average. Now we're going to hit the home run. The guy looks at the cashier who's crying, saying, "This is God." And he says, "You know, God wants to do more in this store tonight." And he says, "Can I use the intercom?" So she looks at him and says, "This is God." She teaches him how to use the intercom. So he takes the intercom and he goes, "Attention shoppers. God just came into the store. And he healed a woman who was deaf at cash register number 10. And then he says, "Ma'am, come here." And he gets the woman over. "Tell them what God did for you." So she gives her testimony on the intercom of the grocery store. When she's through, he takes the mic back and he says, "God wants to do more in this store tonight. I heard the words, new hip. Someone in the store needs a new hip." He says, "Carpal tunnel. God is going to heal carpal tunnel." And he starts giving these words of knowledge. And he says, "If you want to receive prayer, I will be at cash register number 10. So within moments, people are coming down the aisles. There's a huge grocery store. People are coming down the aisles going, looking down at cash register number 10. And pretty soon a crowd starts forming around him at the cash register. And as soon as this crowd comes, this woman comes out one of the little electric carts. She comes wheeling into the group. She goes, "I'm the new hip." So he lays hands on her, begins to pray for the hip. He says, "Now, ma'am, move that leg." And she said, "If I do, it'll hurt." And so he talked to her about how faith needs an activity, and he told her to move the leg, and she moved it, and she went, "Oh." And he says, "What?" She said, "It doesn't hurt." He says, "Then I suggest you get up and walk." She gets up, she starts walking completely well across the store. Everybody, you got to realize this is like one of the events listed in the Bible. Everybody there knows nothing. And they're going, "Wow." Just impressed what God was doing. Pretty soon a guy pushes his way through the crowd, just like in the Bible. And he says, "I'm a piano teacher. I do concerts. It's how I make my living. And I can't play. I have carpal tunnel so bad. Do you think God would heal me?" And he said, "Yes, of course." And he prayed for him. And his hands turned to fire. And he began to shake his hands. "My hands are on fire. My hands are on fire." And we've always told our people that hot is good. If it's hot, that's a good sign. So within moments, this guy is healed of this problem. And he told the guy later, he said, "When I came into the store, it's the first time in my life, when I came into the store tonight, I said to myself, wouldn't it be great if the pain stopped tonight?" And the Lord heard that cry. He counted it as intercession, prayer, and he sent the man of God after one of the 4 basic food groups. he ended up praying for so many different people, and God just moved powerfully in the grocery store. In fact, so powerfully he forgot to buy the donuts. He never did. But when he was through praying for people, he's standing there thinking to himself, I ought to preach. I've got a crowd. So he starts preaching the gospel at cash register number 10. And he starts telling them about God's love and how that he forgives sin, and just going through the gospel. He says, if you would like to receive Christ right now, just raise your hand and I'll pray with you. So he had an altar call right at cash register number 10. All these people got saved. You prayed to them. Just another trip to the grocery store. Isn't that amazing? Yay, God. Yay, God. One of our